Week 9, July 17th, 2020. I'm Scott. This is our 9th edition of the Friday Fives, and this is where every Friday of the summer I tell you where or what's on my radar in the Iowa cycling scene. Actually, I'm not seeing the camera on my computer now, so I just hopefully it's going, but it looks like it is. Um, so number one, Scott's RAGBRAI. So today, it's Friday, would have been the day that Jess and I would have driven to the Mars for the RAGBRAI Expo starting on Saturday, and then the start of the 48th RAGBRAI on Sunday. So the last few weeks would have been getting all the Bike Iowa gear in, getting it inventoried, getting the event tents ready, tables, price tags, tons of promotion, and making sure the Fun Mover was roadworthy to drive across the state. Uh, we've been vendors on RAGBRAI since 2016. At that time, we partnered up with Mr. Pork Chop at Iowa Beer Bus, and we always created an oasis outside of town, usually at a farmer's field, not a farmer's field, a farmer's house, in kind of a big yard. You get drinks there, pork chops, other food, slushies, ice cream, Bike Iowa gear, listen to music, play games, and just stop, take a break underneath the shade trees. Over the week, we would help countless riders fix their bikes, talk to them, all from all over the world, help them get to the next town. It was like being part of a circus for a week. Um, so to me, if I was going to be a vendor, um, I'm glad we chose with Mr. Pork Chop and Iowa Beer Bus because it was the closest thing to riding. We were not in town, standing on pavement all day. We're outside of town, and really only the riders, like RAGBRAI, rode right by us every day, and we got to see so many old friends we wouldn't have seen, uh, if we were riding. And then the people we met just from all over the world, all over the states, just the conversations, it was priceless. Every year that's great. It's it's almost worth it to give up a week of riding in our own state to help promote riding in our state. And I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what we chose. Um, so no, definitely no stranger to RAGBRAI. I've been riding RAGBRAI since 1996, and you'll never forget your first year. That's always the one that sticks in your mind. 96 was one heck of a rowdy year. Forgotten probably more than I remember, but the town I do remember is Schleswig. Um, Beers were being sold out of like ice cream buckets. Wall to wall people in this little, it wasn't even really a town square, it was kind of between a bunch of buildings. Roofs were lined with people. I think the Blues Brothers were playing. Hundreds were dancing, and the Blues Brothers could always get the crowd riled up. And one of the last things I remember is Chicken Man, which is an icon, RAGBRAI icon back in the day. He jumped off of a roof of a building onto a top of a KYBO, caved in the roof of the KYBO, and I'm pretty sure the party got shut down after that. But anyway, that's just one little blip of my 1996 RAGBRAI. Fun times. I digress. Am I missing RAGBRAI right now? Yes, but I really don't think it's hit me yet. Just because the whole year's been turned upside down for everything, not just cycling. The weeks are flying by, and I'm constantly busy. But yeah, there'll be many, many things I'll miss about next week's RAGBRAI. As the days go by and as we see everything going on, yeah, it'll definitely hit me. I'm already seeing some folks doing different trips and stuff, cyclists like teams going out on their own and doing their own thing. So that's kind of hard to see. Um, but part of me is also fine with this year at this point in time of the year, just taking the year off. I've succumbed to it, and I think next year will be a big old reboot year. Brings us up to number 2. Whoa, hang on. I gotta take this. Hold on. Hey, Dieter. Yeah. Actually, we are doing Friday Fives right now. Yeah, that was actually the next thing on my list. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'll mention that too. I had it partially, but I'll expand on that. All right, dude. Talk to you later. Bye. Huh. Go figure. So number 2. Excuse me. Number 2. RAGBRAI. Virtually the best. So the RAGBRAI crew announced RAGBRAI be canceled excuse me, almost 3 months ago. And these 3 months have given them time to come up with a plan to keep RAGBRAI spirit alive, even while thousands of cyclists can't gather to ride across Iowa next week. So they're going to host a virtual RAGBRAI. Every day is really about the same type of events that RAGBRAI sets up for real. So you're going to have your gravel loop, you're going to have your mile of silence, you're going to have your Jersey themed days. All that stuff's still going to happen. Participants are encouraged to ride about the same distance and vertical climb as they would each day of RAGBRAI. People will post photos, get some virtual interaction. You can win prizes. It does require registration. There are prizes, there are giveaways, there are patches, that kind of stuff. Registration is $55. You can still get signed up on ragbrai.com. As I said before, we would be en route to RAGBRAI right now. And in honor of that, oh yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but that is Wells Blue Bunny ice cream made in Lamar's. And I don't know what they're thinking when they put 9 servings per container. It looks like about 2 to me. We're going to chat out on that this week. Okay, we're going to eat it after this is over. Yeah, it's a bummer not to have RAGBRAI this year, but we're glad that Dieter and crew at the RAGBRAI are really to come up with a way to celebrate the spirit in a socially distant manner. We think people from across the U.S. and the world will still participate. Will it be as good? No, unfortunately. A lot of the events aren't when they're virtual, but we'll have stuff going on all next week, even though the events won't wrap up till next Saturday, July 25th. So next Friday, we'll probably have more stuff on RAGBRAI. So here we got number 3 is the Founders Statue. The RAGBRAI Founders Statue is called RAGBRAI, River to River. We've done some features on it. We've talked about it before. It was installed in Waterworks Park in Des Moines this past Wednesday. There's supposed to be a big celebration, a gathering, but with the pandemic and there was some rain and kind of the installation was a little off time. But it is installed now. The installation is 50 foot wide, and it includes the bronze statues of John Karras and Don Call, and a bunch of waves and kind of wheel loops. It all lights up, and it's going to be lit up all the time, but it's going to look most impressive, obviously, at night lit up. This project was a project that we were proud to support. BIKEIOWA donated $1,000 toward this project, and we're excited to see that the RAGBRAI founders are honored in this way, especially when John Karras is still around. It's hard to believe that when they try to get traction going, to get this event going by the register, they try to get them to pay for them to ride across the state. The register suggests that they invite readers, and here we are 50 years later, almost 50 years later. We're glad to see the founders memorialized in such a permanent way, and that's right here at Waterworks Park in Des Moines. Take a look on the BIKEIOWA site. There's a feature out there that kind of talks about it, and I'm sure you'll start to see more photos. We'll have photos on this post after we're done as well. Number 4, Cyclocross, mostly canceled. So mark this down as surprise, no surprise column. Many of the fall 2020 Iowa Cyclocross season has been canceled. If you know me, Cyclocross is one of my favorite seasons of the year. It has been for the last 7 to 10 years. It's a fun sport. It's a hard sport, competitive, but it's also it's just fun to watch and to race in. Cyclocross is a hard sport to social distance in. It's not like some time trial or most gravel races where you can kind of spread out. Cyclocross is, pretty much assholes and elbows around the corners. So can't really happen. So it's just really too much of a risk to bring racers together, not only for the host teams, the host towns, fans, volunteers, and the officials. There's been several conversations with the USA Cycling and the insurance companies who insure the races regarding extra liabilities for race directors in case of someone gets COVID, not only gets COVID, but maybe dies from it, or hands it off to somebody they know and they die from it and they trace it back. So Can race directors get sued? Good question. Nobody's been able to give us a straight answer on that. There are some disease control exclusions. There are some verbiage in there for that, but nobody's really come up with a firm answer. So we're finding that most race directors at this point in time, stage in the game, are just ready to cancel for this season. So there were 13 cyclocross races on the schedule as of today, the 17th of July. 5 have been canceled, 7 are planning as scheduled, and 1 is yet to be determined. So the races that have been canceled are the first in the first part of the season. Cannonball Cross, September 5th and 6th. Dirty Wooden Shoe, September 12th and 13th. Cornerstone Cross is set for September 19th. It is still listed as scheduled. They'll make an update later. Cap City Cross, September 26th, 27th, canceled. Jingle Cross, October 9th through the 11th. That's still on. A big one, Trek Cup up in Wisconsin, I think it was the weekend before Jingle Cross, has already canceled. So that'll be an interesting one to follow as it gets later. Twisted Cross, October 17th and 18th, canceled. The Grand, October 24th, 25th, was canceled. The rest of the races are still on schedule, and they're going to make an update on August 1st about what they're doing. And that's Spooky Cross, Creekside Cross, Barbers Cross, Mid-State Cross, Iowa State Championships, and Valley Cross. Again, the next update is going to come on August 1st. There's a feature on Bike Iowa right now with all this information, so if you wrote it down, you didn't need to. Number 5, green plaid. Hopefully you can see how this turned out. If you can see the sprockets kind of in the pattern. It was hard to tell by the proof, but they turned out definitely better than expected. So if you ordered one of these, it's most likely either in your mailbox today or it'll come tomorrow. We mailed those out the last few days. And for the women's Gemini tanks will be here in a couple weeks. Again, these turned out better, way better than expected. When we did make the order, we already knew RAGBRAI was going to be canceled, and we didn't order a ton of stuff. We only offered the pre-order. So we understand if you didn't see the pre-order, hard to keep up with all the information these days, but we've got less than 10 of these left. And once we get the final sizes inventoried, we'll do a post and they'll just be gone. But I think they look pretty cool. Yes, RAGBRAI's been a dominant topic for this week's Friday Fives, but it makes sense. It's such a big event for us and the state. It's our biggest sales week of the year, as well as we get in front of the most people we ever have. Other than that, it'd be the Iowa Bike Expo in January. So, last week of July, we set up for 7 or 8 days along the RAGBRAI Route with Mr. Pork Chop and Iowa Beer Bus, listen to all the banner of our circus friends, and provide an oasis for the riders to come through. This year we still got a bunch of gear, but nowhere to sell it. So check out BIKEIOWA.com and click on the shop icon. We've marked down the prices about as low as we can go. We'd much rather see you wearing it than it sitting in a tote waiting for a home. And we also get it. Postage isn't cheap these days. It's $7 to ship a $20 cycling cap or t-shirt. So that's why we like the expos, the face-to-face interactions. But we understand this is 2020. Nothing's normal, and that's just the way it is. We also know that shopping online, sizing can be difficult. So that's why we chose to stick with Primal. They're the same company that does all the RAGBRAI gear. And so they do all of our Lycra. And we know the sizing is consistent. So we got a little bit of everything left, but not a lot of everything. You can shop online. We'll get it. Basically, we're shipping orders every day since we're working from home. And we even sent out a order of Pogi Lights to Utah this week, which I thought was cool. It's not even cold out. So that's it for this week. You can find more information on all these cycling items by checking out BikeIowa.com. We'll have it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we'll also post a video to YouTube, and it'll be a review on Bike Iowa. If you got something you want us to share, ping us on Facebook or email biker@bikeiowa.com. Ride safe and stay healthy.